Have you ever stopped to think about how certain stories, really old historical accounts, still manage to shape how we see the world? I mean, influencing beliefs, even identities centuries later. How do we actually get a real sense of those key moments?
Well, it really comes down to going back to the source, doesn't it? To those foundational accounts.
Mm.
And that's what we're doing today, this deep dive. It's a journey into one of the most studied, most impactful events in Islamic history,
Mm.
the tragedy of Karbala, the martyrdom of Imam Hussein.
And our guide for this is, well, it's quite something. Excerpts from Kitab Maqtal Al Husayn by Abu Mikhnaf. Now, what's really striking about Abu Mikhnaf, he passed away in 157 AH, that's the Islamic calendar year, is that he was seen as, highly trustworthy, reliable by both Shia and Sunni historians, people like Tabari, Ibn Athir, giants.
Right. And his father was apparently a companion of Imam Ali himself.
Exactly.
But what's also fascinating, and maybe a bit complicated, is that the original book, it's thought to be lost. So what we have today mostly comes through his student, Hisham al-Kalbi, who died later in 204 AH.
So that raises a huge question, doesn't it, about how these stories are kept alive, passed down, pieced back together over generations. The whole chain of transmission becomes crucial.
Absolutely. And there's a really important heads up from the translator's forward we should mention. There are apparently quite a few forged works out there, also claiming to be by Abu Mikhnaf.
Right, I saw that. Things like impossible chains of transmission, Abu Mikhnaf supposedly quoting someone who died way after him.
Or just glaring historical mistakes like Imam Hussein supposedly going back to Medina from Kufa before heading out again.
Yeah.
Or getting the arrival date in Karbala wrong. Things like that.
Yeah, details like Yazid's letter dates being off or saying Hussein arrived in Karbala on the 10th of Muharram in some versions.
Exactly. So our mission here is to unpack the authentic sequence as best as it's been reconstructed. Understand the key players. Pull out the really crucial bits of knowledge from this text. Help you get informed about this incredibly profound event without, the myths and later additions.
Okay, let's dive in. Where does it all begin? The succession crisis, right? After Muawiyah dies.
That's the spark. Before he died, Muawiyah calls in his son Yazid, gives him some, pretty direct advice about who might challenge his rule. He names 4 key figures from the Quraysh tribe.
Hussein bi Ali, obviously, then Abdullah bi Umar.
Abdullah bi Zubair and Abdurrahman bi Abi Bakr. And the advice itself tells you a lot about the political climate.
How so?
Well, for Hussein, Muawiyah says, look, if he rebels, overpower him. But, and this is key, forgive him, because of kinship. It shows Hussein's standing, the respect Muawiyah still had for the Prophet's family, even while setting up his own dynasty.
Interesting detail about Abdurrahman bi Abi Bakr, though. The translator points out he reportedly died 5 years before Muawiyah did.
Right. And those little notes, those discrepancies flagged by the translator, they just highlight the kind of scrutiny these old texts undergo. It's rigorous work.
Absolutely. So, Yazid takes over as caliph, beginning of Rajab, 60 AH. What's his first move?
His absolute priority, getting the oath of allegiance, the bay'ah, from those potential challengers.
He doesn't waste any time.
No. He writes immediately to Walid bi Utbah, the governor of Medina, just a small, urgent note, telling him, summon Hussein, Abdullah bi Umar, and Abdullah bi Zubair, get their allegiance. And the instruction is explicit. Act with force. Give them no choice.
Wow. That puts Walid in a really tough spot.
Immediately. He's shocked by Muawiyah's death, by Yazid's blunt demand. So he does what governors do, he calls for advice. Summons Marwan bi Hakam.
And Marwan is, he's known for being politically savvy, maybe ruthless.
Exactly. And his advice is pure political calculus. Act now, summon them, get the oath, or kill them, on the spot, before news of Muawiyah's death spreads and causes chaos.
I will let dissent build up.
Precisely. So Walid sends a messenger, a young man, Abdullah bi Amr, to fetch Hussein and Ibn Zubair from the mosque.
But they hesitate.
They do. They're reluctant to come right away. And this is where you see Hussein's foresight. He senses something's wrong, suspects Muawiyah is dead, suspects this demand for allegiance is coming.
So he prepares.
Instantly. He gathers his mawali, his loyal followers, his clients, and his family. Tells them, wait outside Walid's house. If I call, or if you hear raised voices, rush in. He knew this could get confrontational.
Smart move. So he goes in to see Walid.
He does. Marwan's already sitting there. Walid reads Yazid's letter, demands the oath of allegiance.
And Hussein's response?
He says, basically, someone like me can't give allegiance in secret. It has to be public, in front of everyone.
Buys himself some time.
Seems like it.
Right.
And Walid, maybe a bit relieved to delay the confrontation, agrees. Says, okay, a public pledge later.
But Marwan isn't having it.
Not at all. Marwan jumps in, tells Walid, seize him now, execute him, prevent future bloodshed.
And Hussein's reaction to that, it's quite famous, isn't it?
Oh, completely defiant. He turns to Marwan and says, son of a blue-eyed woman, you or he wish to kill me. By God, you are a liar and a sinner. And then he just leaves.
Walks out. Incredible nerve.
It really sets the tone, doesn't it? That absolute refusal to bend on principle right from the start. And, credit to Walid here, he refuses Marwan's pressure.
He does.
Yeah, the text says he refused to shed Hussein's blood, explicitly citing fear of God's judgment. It's a moment of integrity, you could say, in a very high-pressure situation.
Okay, so Hussein leaves. Walid's soldiers go after Ibn Zubair, but Hussein tells them to come back in the morning. This is Sunday night, 28th of Rajab.
Right. And then his own brother, Muhammad bin Hanafiya, pleads with him. Don't pledge to Yazid, don't go to the provinces, stay in Mecca or out in the desert. He's worried about division, bloodshed.
A reasonable concern. But Hussein...
He appreciates the advice, acknowledges the sincerity, but he's made up his mind. He tells his brother, but I am determined to move from here, my brother. His path is set.
So under the cover of darkness, that same Sunday night, he leaves Medina.
Yes. With his sons, daughters, nephews, most of his close family, everyone except Muhammad bin Hanafiya.
And as he leaves, he recites verses from the Quran.
About seeking refuge from injustice, being guided to the right path. It's like he's framing his journey, right from the outset, in these deeply spiritual terms.
As he heads towards Mecca, he gets more advice, right? People trying to sway him.
Definitely. He refuses advice to take a less obvious route, saying, by God, I will not abandon it until God judges what is pleasing to him. He meets Abdallah bin Utiyadawi,
who warns him about Kufa.
Yeah, calls it an unlucky city. Says his father was killed there, his brother abandoned, and gives this chilling warning, by God, should you die, we will be enslaved. Stark words. But Hussein continues to Mecca, arrives Friday night, 3rd of Shaban, and he stays there for quite a while.
He does, through Shaban, Ramadan, Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, right up until the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, several months.
And Ibn Zubayr is also there, near the Kaaba. How's that dynamic?
Well, the source says Ibn Zubayr visits Hussein, but Hussein's presence makes him deeply uncomfortable. Because people are drawn to Hussein.
Exactly. With Hussein there, the grandson of the Prophet, people wouldn't really follow Ibn Zubayr. It created a kind of unspoken rivalry.
Meanwhile, news reaches Kufa. Muawiyah is dead, Hussein refused allegiance.
And this electrifies the Shia in Kufa. They gather at Suleiman bin Sudaid Khuzai's house. These are the loyalists, remember, the partisans of Ali and his family.
And they decide
to fight for Hussein. They start writing to him.
And these aren't just a few letters.
No, it's an avalanche. The first messengers arrive on the 10th of Ramadan. 2 days later, another group brings around 150 letters.
150, wow.
Yeah. Then 2 days after that, another batch arrives, all basically saying the same thing. We have no imam. Come. Perhaps God will unite us through you. They're pledging their support, saying they're ready.
It must have seemed like a genuine, massive outpouring of support.
It certainly reads that way. So Hussein reads all these letters, these fervent appeals, and he decides to send someone to check it out.
His cousin, Muslim bin Aqil.
Yes. His brother and cousin, he calls him his family's trusted representative, sends him to Kufa to assess if the leaders are really as united as the letters claim. Promises he'll come quickly, if they are.
And his reply to the Kufans is significant too, isn't it? About the role of an imam.
Oh, absolutely. It gets really interesting here. He doesn't just talk politics. He emphasizes the function of an imam. To act according to the book, uphold justice, profess the truth, and dedicate himself to God. It's a profound statement about leadership, spiritual and moral leadership, not just power.
So Muslim bin Aqil sets off for Kufa with a few companions.
3 companions, but the journey starts badly. His 2 guides die of thirst along the way.
A bad omen.
Muslim thinks so.
Yeah.
He sends a letter back to Hussein, mentions this bad omen, suggests maybe sending someone else.
And Hussein's response?
It's quite stern. He interprets the request as cowardice, tells Muslim to press on.
Wow. Tough.
It is. But Muslim accepts it, saying, it is not that I fear for myself, and continues, it just shows the kind of unwavering commitment expected in this whole endeavor.
So Muslim finally gets to Kufa, stays initially at Mukhtar bin Abi Ubaid the Kafi's house.
And the Shia start coming to him. He reads Hussein's letter. Key figures like Abi Shabib Shakiri, and the elderly respected Habib bin Muzahir publicly pledge total support to the death.
And the numbers grow.
Massively. The source says 18,000 people eventually pledge allegiance to Muslim on behalf of Hussein. 18,000. It seems like Kufa is overwhelmingly behind him.
What about the governor, Numan B. Bashir? What's his reaction to all this?
Surprisingly passive. He gets up in the pulpit, warns people against causing trouble, dissension. But then he says he won't fight anyone who doesn't fight him first.
Prefers to be seen as weak but obedient to God rather than strong but disobedient.
That's his reasoning, yes. But this inaction, it has huge consequences. It basically allows Muslims' support base to grow unchecked initially.
But not everyone's happy with Numan's approach.
Not at all. People loyal to Yazid, like Abdallah b. Muslim b. Said Hadrami, see this as weakness. They write to Yazid, complain about Numan.
And Yazid listens.
He does. He consults Sarjan, who was a mullah, a client or administrator, under his father Muawiyah.
And Sarjan's advice?
Appoint Ubaydallah b. Ziyad to Kufa. He was the governor of Basra, known for being utterly ruthless.
So replace the passive governor with a hardliner?
Exactly. Yazid takes the advice, appoints Ubaydallah, gives him clear orders. Find Muslim b. Aqil, intensify the search, kill him.
A major escalation.
Huge. And around the same time, Hussein sends a letter to the leaders in Basra.
Trying to win support there, too.
Yes, explaining his family's right to lead, how their rights were usurped, inviting them to follow the Quran and the Sunnah, saying explicitly, the Sunnah has surely died as innovations become alive.
But that doesn't end well.
No. The messenger, Suleiman, one of Hussein's own mullah, is intercepted, brought to Ubaydallah b. Ziyad in Basra, and executed immediately. Another warning sign.
Ubaydallah b. Ziyad's arrival in Kufa itself is quite something, isn't it?
Oh, very dramatic. He leaves Basra, travels to Kufa, but he arrives veiled, wearing a black turban.
So people don't recognize him.
Right. And the people of Kufa are expecting Hussein. They see this figure arriving, veiled, and they think it's him. They rush out cheering, "Welcome, O son of the messenger of God."
Oh, wow. Imagine Ubaydallah's reaction to that welcome.
He was furious, enraged. Once he gets inside the governor's palace, he drops the veil and gives this terrifying speech. Threats of severe punishment, collective responsibility.
What's collective responsibility?
Basically, holding entire neighborhoods or clans responsible if they didn't report troublemakers. He specifically threatens the Arifs, the local leaders, saying they'll be crucified if they don't inform on supporters of Hussein. It's pure intimidation, establishing his iron grip immediately.
So Muslim b. Aqil has to go deeper underground.
Yes, he moves from Mukhtar's house to the house of Hani b. Urwa Muradi, who was a very influential tribal leader, hoping for better security there.
And people still come to pledge allegiance, even at Hani's house.
Apparently so. The source still mentions 18,000 pledges being made there. Muslim feels confident enough to send another letter to Hussein.
What does this one say?
Confirms the pledges, says the support is solid, and urges Hussein, make haste to come here. He clearly believed Kufa was ready to rise.
But Ibn Ziyad has other plans. He uses espionage.
Yes, a classic move.
Yeah.
He gets one of his own mullah, a man named Maqtal, gives him 3,000 dirhams, and tells him to infiltrate Muslims' inner circle.
How does Maqtal do it?
He pretends to be a devoted follower of the Prophet's household, coming from Syria. He manages to gain the trust of Muslim b. Asarja Asadi, one of the key supporters.
Who then introduces him to Muslim b. Aqil himself.
Exactly. So Maqtal starts attending all the secret meetings, finding out who's involved, what the plans are, and feeding all this information straight back to Ibn Ziyad.
That's devastating. Meanwhile, there's this subplot about trying to assassinate Ibn Ziyad.
Yes, a couple of missed opportunities. First, Hani b. Urwa gets sick, and Ibn Ziyad comes to visit him. One of Hani's companions suggests killing Ibn Ziyad right then and there.
But Hani refuses.
He does.
Yeah.
Says he won't have him killed in his own house. It's against the Arab code of hospitality, even for an enemy.
Okay. And then another chance comes up.
Yeah, later, another prominent Shiite supporter, Sharik b. Awar, gets sick in Hani's house. Ibn Ziyad plans to visit him. Sharik tells Muslim b. Aqil, okay, this is your chance. Kill him when he comes.
So they set it up. Muslim hides, ready to strike.
He's positioned, yes.
Yeah.
Again, Hani expresses his strong disapproval, not in my house.
Right.
And then Muslim himself hesitates.
Why?
He cites a saying, a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, faith prevents one from the act of killing and a believer should not commit murder.
Huh?
So the moment passes. It's this incredible tension between political necessity and religious principle.
Soon after this, Ibn Ziyad notices Hani isn't showing up at the palace.
Right. Hani's a major tribal leader. His absence is noted. Ibn Ziyad summons him, sends Muhammad b. Ashath and other nobles to bring him in.
Hani feels uneasy about going.
Very uneasy. He has misgivings. But he goes. Inside the palace, Ibn Ziyad immediately confronts him. And then he brings out the spy, Aqil,
The spy identifies Hani.
right in front of him, points him out as the one sheltering Muslim Biaqul.
How does Hani respond?
He denies plotting, but admits he gave Muslim shelter. Says he felt obligated, embarrassed to turn him away. He even offers to arrange for Muslim to leave Kufa safely.
But Ibn Ziyad wants more than that.
He demands Hani hand Muslim over, bring him to the palace.
And Hani's refusal is legendary.
Absolutely defiant. No, by God, I shall never bring him to you. Do you expect me to bring my guest for you to kill?
Yeah.
It's a powerful stand on principle, on the sacred duty of protecting a guest.
Ibn Ziyad's reaction is brutal.
Vicious. He takes his cane and beats Hani severely in the face. Breaks his nose, blood everywhere. Just savage.
Does Hani's tribe react?
Yes. The Mahdi tribe hear about it, think Hani's been killed. They surround the palace. It gets tense.
How does Ibn Ziyad handle that?
Cleverly, in a way. He sends out Shurai, the judge, to tell the tribesmen Hani is still alive, just being questioned. Shurai does this, and the crowd disperses. The immediate crisis is averted, but Hani is still imprisoned and injured.
When Muslim Biaqul hears about how Hani was treated,
That's the trigger. He knows negotiation is over. He calls his supporters to arms. It's time for the uprising.
how many respond? Didn't 18,000 pledge?
That's the tragic part. Only 4,000 initially assemble. Still a significant number, but nowhere near the 18,000 who had pledged.
Still, 4,000 is a force. He organizes them.
Quickly assigns commanders, divides them into groups, and marches toward the governor's palace. The plan is presumably to take control of Kufa.
But Ibn Ziyad has his countermoves ready.
Immediately. He sends out prominent Kufan nobles, Qadir bi Shahab, Muhammad bi Ashhath, Shabat bi Rabibi people known to the attackers,
What's their mission?
to undermine Muslim support. They go into the crowd, spreading fear and threats, loss of government stipends, severe punishment for families, collective responsibility, the rumor of a huge Syrian army on its way.
Psychological warfare.
Exactly. And it works devastatingly quickly.
The numbers just melt away.
Astonishingly fast.
Right.
From 4,000, the crowd shrinks to just 300. Then, by the time Muslim reaches the main mosque, there are only 30 men with him.
30 from 4,000.
And it gets worse. By evening prayer, there are only 10. And then he's completely alone, utterly abandoned.
Unbelievable. What does he do?
He wanders the streets of Kufa, alone, not knowing where to go. Eventually, he finds himself at the door of a woman named Tawa. He asks for water.
And she helps him.
She gives him water, realizes who he is, and out of respect for the Prophet's family, she takes him in, hides him in a separate room in her house, an act of incredible bravery on her part.
But the secret doesn't last.
No. Her son, Bilal, finds out Muslim is there, and he secretly goes and tells Abd al-Rahman, the son of Muhammad bi Ashhath.
The same Muhammad bi Ashhath who was sent to quell the uprising.
The very same. Abd al-Rahman tells his father, and Muhammad bi Ashhath immediately informs Ibn Ziyad. The hiding place is compromised.
Ibn Ziyad sends troops right away.
Says Muhammad bi Ashhath himself, with about 60 or 70 soldiers from the tribe of Keys, to arrest Muslim.
Does Muslim fight?
He does. Cornered, he comes out with his sword and fights fiercely. He even injures one of the attackers, Bukayr bi Humran, smashing his mouth, knocking out teeth. He wasn't going down easily.
But he's outnumbered.
Hopelessly. They start throwing stones at him from rooftops. He's exhausted. Muhammad bi Ashhath then offers him a guarantee of safety.
Come on. Does Muslim accept?
He hesitates, asks if it's a genuine guarantee. Ashhath assures him it is. Exhausted, wounded, Muslim accepts the guarantee.
But he suspects it's a trick.
As soon as they put him on a mule and take his sword, he knows. He cries out, "This is the first act of betrayal." He starts weeping, not just for himself, but lamenting for Hussein and his family, knowing they're walking into this trap.
Does he try to get a message to Hussein?
Yes. His last desperate act, he asks Muhammad bi Ashhath, as part of his last will, to send a messenger to Hussein, to warn him.
What's the message?
Ibn Aqil has been taken prisoner. Do not approach Kufa. You will be killed. The Kufans have lied to you and to me. It's a final, heartbreaking plea.
Does Ibn Ashhath agree to send it?
He says he will. Whether he actually does or does so effectively is another question. But he agrees in that moment.
Then they take Muslim to the palace.
Yes. At the palace door, there's this awful detail. He asks for water. He's denied. He tries to drink from a cup, but it fills with his own blood, and 2 of his teeth fall into it. A gruesome image.
Inside, he consents Ibn Ziyad.
He's brought before him. He refuses to give the customary salute. Ibn Ziyad accuses him of stirring rebellion, even of drinking wine.
Muslim defends himself.
Fiercely. Calls Ibn Ziyad a sinner, someone who sucks the blood of Muslims. They argue about who has the right to leadership. Ibn Ziyad ends it by cursing Muslim, Hussein, Ali, Aqil, the whole family.
And then the sentence.
Ibn Ziyad orders Muslim to be taken to the roof of the palace, beheaded, and his body thrown down into the marketplace below.
Does Muslim appeal to the guarantee of safety he was given?
He does. He turns to Ibn Asha, reminds of the guarantee. But Ibn Ziyad just dismisses it. Says Ibn Asha had no authority to offer it. It meant nothing.
Who carries out the execution?
Bukayr b Humran, the man Muslim had injured earlier. He takes him up to a spot overlooking the market.
Muslim's final words.
He says, God is great, Allahu Akbar, and prays, O God, judge between us and a community that tempted us, deceived us, and humiliated us. Then Bukayr severs his head and throws his body down. A brutal public spectacle.
And Hani b Hurwa, what happens to him?
He meets the same fate. Ibn Ziyad orders him dragged to the marketplace to be beheaded. Hani cries out for his tribe, the Madad-Hij. He actually breaks free for a moment, looks desperately for a weapon.
But he's recaptured.
Yes, overpowered. A Turkish Mullah of Ibn Ziyad, named Rashid, is ordered to execute him. The first sword strike apparently does little harm. Hani cries out, to God is the return, O God, the return is to your mercy and your paradise. Rashid strikes again and kills him.
2 major leaders executed publicly.
And Ibn Ziyad immediately sends their heads to Yazid in Damascus, along with a letter boasting about his success, how he captured them, severed their heads.
Who's Yazid's reaction?
He praises Ibn Ziyad, commends his decisiveness, his courage. He also confirms reports that Hussein is indeed heading towards Iraq.
Does Yazid give further instructions?
Yes, tells Ibn Ziyad to set up checkpoints, watch the roads, apprehend anyone suspicious. But interestingly, he adds, don't kill anyone unless they actually fight you.
And the source mentions a poem.
Yes, a eulogy for Muslim and Hani by the famous poet Farazdak. It shows how deeply their deaths resonated, calling for vengeance.
And the timing. Muslims' uprising and death happens on the 8th of Dhul-Hijjah.
That's what the text says. Tuesday the 8th, though the translator notes it likely corresponds to Sunday. But the crucial point is, yes, the 8th of Dhul-Hijjah, 60 AH.
Which is the exact same day Hussein leaves Mecca.
Exactly, the day of Tarwiyah, when pilgrims prepare for Hajj. As Muslim is fighting and dying in Kufa, Hussein is beginning his fateful journey towards Iraq.
And as he sets out, the warnings continue, don't they, even from people in Mecca?
Oh yes. Ibn Zubayr tries to persuade him to stay in the Hijaz, maybe make his own bid for power there. Or, strangely, he also suggests Hussein should go to Kufa.
Trying to get him out of Mecca either way.
That's how Hussein perceives it. Hussein replies with that story from his father about a leader destined to be killed in Mecca, violating its sanctity. He says, I do not wish to be that man. He sees Ibn Zubayr's motive clearly. Get Hussein out of the way so he can consolidate his own power in Hijaz.
What about Abdallah b Abbas, who's very close to the family?
Ibn Abbas pleads with Hussein repeatedly, don't go to Iraq. The people there are deceitful and unreliable. Stay in Hijaz or maybe go to Yemen. And crucially, he begs Hussein, don't take the women and children. I fear you will be killed like Uthman was, with his family watching.
That's a powerful warning. How does Hussein respond?
He acknowledges the sincerity, the deep concern. But he remains firm. His determination is unshaken. It's this constant theme. Sincere advice, dire warnings, but Hussein stays his course.
Who else tries to stop him?
Umar b. Abdallah Rahman voices similar concerns, warns him he's going to a land where the leaders control everything with money, predicts betrayal. Again, Hussein recognizes the sincerity, but basically says God's decree will unfold.
Even the governor of Mecca gets involved.
Yes, Amr b. Said. He actually sends messengers to intercept Hussein's party, demanding they return. Hussein's cousin, Abdullah b. Jafar, tries to mediate, asks Amr to write a letter guaranteeing Hussein's safety.
Does Hussein accept the offer of safe passage?
No, he declines. He mentions a dream he had where the prophet himself commanded him in this matter. A command he says he cannot reveal. He simply states, the best guarantee is God's. His reliance isn't on earthly powers.
Okay, so the journey continues. Let's track the key stops. What happens at Tanim?
At Tanim, they encounter a caravan carrying goods from Yemen for Yazid's tax collector. Hussein seizes the camels and goods.
Really?
Well, the source presents it as asserting his right, perhaps, or maybe needing resources. But he's fair about it. He offers the camel drivers a choice. Join his cause and get paid, or leave now and still get paid for the distance they've already traveled.
Interesting. Then Sifa. He meets the poet Farazdak there.
Yes, a famous encounter. Farazdak gives him that stark assessment of Kusa. The hearts of the people are with you, but their swords are with Banu Umayyah. Loyalty in spirit, but opposition in action.
And Hussein's reply?
Calm acceptance. The decree belongs to God, and he will do what he desires. Again, that sense of destiny, of commitment, regardless of the odds.
Next stop, Hajir. He sends another message to Kufa.
Yes, via Kasbi Mushir Sadawi.
Oh,
Basically saying, I left Mecca on the 8th, I'm on my way, get ready.
but Keyes doesn't make it.
No. He's intercepted near Qadisiyah by Hassan b Tamim, one of Ibn Ziyad's commanders. He's sent to Ibn Ziyad in Kufa.
And Ibn Ziyad tries to force him to denounce Hussein.
Orders him to go to the pulpit and curse Hussein and his father. Instead, Kayes praises Hussein, Ali, and condemns Ibn Ziyad. For his defiance, he's thrown from the roof of the palace to his death. Another loyal messenger martyred.
The news from Kufa is getting consistently worse.
Bleaker and bleaker. At another watering place, Abdallah bin Luti Adawi meets him again, pleads with him not to go to Kufa, predicts his death, dishonor for Islam. Hussein persists.
Then comes Zarud. This seems like a major turning point.
It is. Two men arrive from the Asad tribe, traveling from Mecca. They bring the news Hussein must have dreaded, but perhaps expected.
The news about Muslim bi Aqil.
Yes. They tell him Muslim bi Aqil and Hani bi Urwa have been killed, executed, and their bodies were dragged through the marketplace in Kufa.
How does Hussein react to this devastating confirmation?
With profound grief, but also resolve. He repeats the phrase, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. We are from God and to him is our return. Repeats it several times. Prays for mercy on them.
But does he consider turning back now? Surely this changes everything.
You'd think so. But no. The Thuns of Aqil, Muslims' brothers, and relatives who are with Hussein, they vow revenge. They won't turn back until they avenge their kinsmen. And then Hussein says something absolutely pivotal.
What's that?
He says, there is no point in living after the death of these two men. It indicates his path is now irrevocably set towards confrontation, towards martyrdom. The last door to retreat has closed in his mind.
So, knowing Kufa has fallen, knowing his representative is dead, he presses on? What happens at Subala?
More bad news arrives. He learns of the death of Abdallah bin Utur, his foster brother, likely another messenger killed. At this point, Hussein gathers everyone remaining with him.
And he gives them a chance to leave.
An explicit chance. He reads a statement aloud. Confirms the deaths of Muslim, Hani, Abdallah bin Utur, states plainly. Our Shia, meaning the Kufans, have abandoned us. Thus, those of you who wish to part company with us are free to go without any sense of obligation.
That's remarkable leadership, releasing them from their oath.
It is. And many do leave. The source says many of the Bedouin Arabs who had joined perhaps hoping for political success or spoils in Kufa, they disperse now.
So who's left?
Only his core group. His family and the truly devoted followers who had come with him from Medina or joined along the way, committed to him personally, not just the political cause. His small band becomes even smaller, but perhaps even more dedicated.
The warnings still don't stop, though. At Batna al-Aqaba.
Another warning. A man from Banu Ikrimah tells him, don't go to Kufa, you'll face spears and the sharp edges of swords. Hussein's reply is consistent. Servant of God, sound decisions are not concealed from me, but the decree of God prevails. Acknowledging the danger, accepting the divine plan.
And then at Sharaf, the first direct encounter with an armed force.
Yes, they spot a large military unit ahead. Turns out to be 1,000 horsemen.
Led by Herbi Yazid.
Herbi Yazid Tamim Yarboui, sent by Ibn Ziyad to intercept Hussein.
What's the first interaction like? It's quite famous, isn't it?
It is. Before any confrontation, Hussein sees that Her's men and their horses are desperately thirsty from their rapid march, and Hussein instructs his own followers to give them water.
Gives water to the soldiers sent to stop him.
Yes. A remarkable act of compassion, of Islamic hospitality, even towards an opposing force. It really stands out.
Then they talk.
At midday prayer time, Hussein addresses both his own followers and Her's men. He explains again he came because the Kufans invited him, says if they've changed their minds now, he's willing to go back.
What does Her say? Does he know about the letters?
Her claims ignorance, says he knows nothing about any letters. His orders, he states, are simple. Bring Hussein to Ubaydallah bin Ziyad in Kufa.
And Hussein's response to that?
Immediate defiance. Death will befall you before you do that. The lines are drawn.
But they don't fight immediately. Her proposes something.
A sort of compromise. Her says, okay, don't go back to Medina, but don't go forward to Kufa either. Take a different road, one that leads neither way. We'll travel alongside you, and I'll write to Ibn Ziyad for new instructions. Maybe we can avoid a fight.
Hussein agrees.
He does. They turn left, heading towards Udhab and Qadisiyah, away from the direct route to Kufa, but still deeper into Iraq. Her's army essentially escorts them or corrals them. It's a temporary, uneasy truce.
At the next stop, Bida, Hussein gives a really significant speech.
Yes, a powerful sermon. He addresses both his followers and hers men again. He quotes the Prophet Muhammad about the duty to oppose unjust rulers.
Rulers who do what?
He lists their crimes: clinging to the obedience of Satan, spreading corruption, suspending Islamic law, hudud, misappropriating public wealth, fay, allowing what God forbade and forbidding what God allowed. It's a sweeping indictment of the Umayyad regime.
And he positions himself as the one to fix it.
Declares himself more entitled than anyone else to bring about a positive reform. He reminds hers men, many of whom were Kufans, of their letters, their broken pledges, their betrayal of his father, his brother, and now Muslim Biyakwal. It's a direct moral challenge.
How does her react to this?
Her seems troubled, but warns Hussein directly, if you fight, you will be killed. Certain death.
And Hussein's famous reply about death.
Completely fearless. Do you think that you can frighten me with death? He then recites some verses of poetry about embracing death for the sake of truth. No fear, only conviction.
They continue, shouted by hers army. What happens at Utay-Pijanat?
4 men manage to reach Hussein's camp from Kufa. They slip past Hur's patrols.
Who are they?
Men like Mujami bi Abdallah and Tirima bi Adi. Hur wants to arrest them or send them back.
But Hussein intervenes.
Yes, he protects them. Reminds her of their agreement. Hur wasn't supposed to actively prevent people from joining Hussein, just preventing going to Kufa or back to Medina.
What news do these men bring from Kufa?
Grim news. They confirm the worst. The leaders, the prominent men of Kufa, have been bought off with massive bribes. They're united against Hussein now. As for the ordinary people, their hearts are with Hussein, but their swords will be turned against him. Fear and money have swayed them.
Do they mention Kays, the messenger?
Yes, they confirm his martyrdom. Tell Hussein how Kays defiantly praised him from the palace roof before being killed. Hussein weeps when he hears this, recites a Quranic verse about those who have fulfilled their vows, the martyrs. The sacrifices are mounting.
One of the newcomers, Tirima bi Adi, makes an offer.
A practical offer of escape. Tirima knows the area well. He tells Hussein, come with me to the mountains of Aja. It's impenetrable. We can hold out there, rally support from the Tay tribe. He offers refuge.
Why doesn't Hussein take it? It sounds like a viable option.
Hussein declines. His reason is twofold. First, we have an understanding with the people meeting Hur's forces. It does not allow us to separate from them. He feels bound by the current agreement, perhaps, but more profoundly, he adds, further, we do not know what will transpire as the final outcome. Again, that submission to divine will, to seeing this path through to its destined end.
So Tirima leaves.
He promises to go settle some affairs and return quickly. Tragically, by the time he gets back, Hussein has already been killed.
The next stop is Kastar Bani Maqtal, another encounter there.
Hussein invites a local man, Ubaydallah Bihar Jufi, to join his cause.
Does he accept?
No, he refuses. Says he left Kufa specifically to avoid getting caught up in this conflict. He wants no part of it.
Hussein's response to him.
A solemn warning. Every person who hears our call for help, our nusra, and fails to respond will face nothing but destruction. It's a heavy statement about the moral obligation to stand against injustice.
And then a significant dream or vision.
Yes. While resting there, Hussein dozes off. He wakes up startled, saying, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun again. He says he saw a horseman in his sleep who said, people are journeying and their fates are marching towards them.
How does he interpret that?
As a clear sign that their deaths are approaching, that their journey is leading them towards their fate, their martyrdom.
How does his son, Ali al-Akbar, react to this?
His son asks him, are we not on the path of truth? Hussein confirms they are, and his son's reply is remarkable for its acceptance. Then there is no need for us to be concerned as long as we die in the path of truth. Father and son, facing destiny together with complete conviction.
Finally, they reach the area of Karbala, Ninawa specifically.
Yes. Ninawa was a village in the larger area known as Karbala, and it's here that the final constraint arrives. A messenger rides up from Kufa, carrying a letter from Ubaydallah bi Ziyad directly for her.
And the orders are?
Explicit and harsh. Immediately halt the journey of Hussein. Make him stop in an open area without any protective enclosure or water supply. Force him into a vulnerable position.
Does her obey?
He does. He's under direct orders now, and possibly being watched by the messenger. Hussein's companions asked to camp at nearby villages Ninawa itself, or Gadiria, or Shafaya places, with perhaps some shelter or water access.
But her refuses.
He has to refuse. Says he can't. The messenger is watching him. He must enforce Ibn Ziyad's order precisely.
Zuhair bi Quain suggests fighting now.
Yes, Zuhair urges Hussein, look, this force with her is relatively small. Let's fight them now before more reinforcements arrive from Kufa. It'll be harder later.
But Hussein refuses to initiate conflict.
Consistently. He won't be the one to start the battle. Zuhair then suggests moving to a nearby protected village called Ar.
And Hussein's reaction to that name?
He reacts strongly against the name itself. Ark can mean barren or can relate to hamstringing or Arjanda's sterility. He says, "Oh God, I seek refuge in you from Ark." It seems like a bad omen to him. So he decides to halt right where they are.
And this is Karbala, the stopping point.
This is it. Thursday, the 2nd of Muharram, 61 AH. Though again, the translator notes this date likely corresponds to a Tuesday. The source also adds a detail here, a report that the Prophet himself had prophesied Hussein's martyrdom at Karbala years earlier, adding to that sense of inescapable destiny.
So Hussein and his small group are camped in this exposed place, cut off from water. What happens next?
The very next day, 3rd of Muharram, the main army arrives from Kufa,
Led by Umar bin Saad.
Umar bin Saad bi Abi Waqqas, with 4,000 soldiers.
He wasn't keen on this command, was he?
Not at all. He had actually just been appointed governor of Ray, a lucrative post in Persia. Ibn Ziyad basically diverted him, told him, deal with Hussein first, then you can go to Ray.
Did he try to get out of it?
He did. He petitioned Ibn Ziyad to relieve him of the mission. He consulted friends who strongly advised him not to fight Hussein, warning him it would be a grave sin. He apparently agonized over it, even considered giving up the governorship of Ray altogether. You see that moral conflict?
But Ibn Ziyad pressured him.
Absolutely. Gave him an ultimatum, either confront Hussein or forfeit the governorship of Ray permanently. Ambition won out. Umar bin Saad agreed to lead the army.
Once he arrives at Karbala, does he try to communicate with Hussein?
He makes some initial attempts. He sends Azra B. Kays to ask Hussein why he came.
But Azra refuses.
Yes, because he was one of the Kufans who had written letters inviting Hussein in the first place. He's too ashamed, too embarrassed by his own betrayal to face Hussein now. Many nobles felt the same.
Another man, Kathir B. Abdallah, offers to just go kill Hussein.
Yes, a very aggressive figure. But Abu Thammasaidi, one of Hussein's companions, stops him, calls him the most wicked person on earth, and says he'll have to kill him first. So that doesn't happen.
Eventually, someone does deliver the message.
Qura B. Kays Hanzali agrees to go. He asks Hussein why he has come. Hussein repeats his reason. Your people invited me. If you are displeased now, I will leave.
So Hussein is still offering a peaceful withdrawal.
It seems so. And Umar bin Saad, when he hears this reply, actually feels hopeful. He writes back to Ibn Ziyad, maybe thinking, great, we can avoid a battle.
What does Umar bin Saad propose to Ibn Ziyad?
He relays Hussein's message that he'll leave if the Kufans don't want him. Umar adds his own suggestions. Maybe let Hussein return to Medina, or go to fight jihad on some border, or perhaps even go directly to Yazid in Damascus to pledge allegiance.
Now, that last point is controversial, right? The idea Hussein offered to go to Yazid.
Highly controversial.
Yep.
The translator includes a strong note here, citing Upa bi Simen, who was with Hussein throughout the journey. Upa apparently vehemently denied that Hussein ever offered to go to Yazid or put his hand in Yazid's hand. He insisted Hussein only offered to either return where he came from or go to a Muslim frontier to fight. It's a critical point of historical debate.
Okay. So Umar bin Saad sends this somewhat hopeful message to Ibn Ziyad, but someone intervenes.
Yes, Shimr B.D. Joshan. He's in Kufa with Ibn Ziyad. He hears about Umar's letter and immediately argues against accepting any compromise.
Why? What's Shimr's argument?
Pure power politics. Shimr tells Ibn Ziyad, if Hussein leaves now, especially after camping so close to your territory, he'll look strong and you will look weak. Don't let him go.
What does Shimr suggest instead?
Demand unconditional surrender. Force Hussein and his followers to submit entirely to Ibn Ziyad's authority. Then Ibn Ziyad can decide whether to punish or forgive them. Total control.
And Ibn Ziyad goes for Shimr's hardline approach.
It does. He accepts Shimr's advice completely. He sends a harsh letter back to Umar bin Saad.
What are the orders in this letter?
No more negotiation. Force Hussein and his followers to submit to Yazid's authority immediately. If they refuse, fight them. Kill them. And he adds that chilling instruction. If Hussein is killed, let the horses trample back and forth on his chest, utter desecration.
What if Umar bin Saad refuses to carry out this order?
Ibn Ziyad anticipates that. He tells Shimr, who delivers the letter, if Umar hesitates, you, Shimr, take command of the army and arrest Umar and behead him.
Wow. The pressure on Umar bin Saad is immense. Fight Hussein or die.
Exactly. The die is cast. There's no turning back now for anyone.
And then comes the order to cut off the water.
Yes. This happens on the 7th of Muharram, 3 days before the battle, Ibn Ziyad orders Umar b Saad to prevent Hussein's camp from reaching the Euphrates River. Umar dispatches Amr b Hajjaj with 500 horsemen specifically to guard the riverbank.
Denying water to men, women, and children.
It's an act of extreme cruelty, designed to weaken them physically and psychologically, to force their surrender.
Around this time, Shamir makes a personal approach to Hussein's camp.
He does. He calls out, offering a guarantee of safety, Aman, specifically to Hussein's half-brothers, Abbas, Abdullah, Jafar, and Uthman. Their mother was from Shamir's tribe, so he calls them sons of our sister.
Trying to divide Hussein's family.
Seems like it. Trying to peel away some of his strongest fighters.
How do Abbas and his brothers respond?
With utter contempt. They refuse to even answer him at first, until Hussein tells them to. Then they shout back, "May God curse you and your guarantee! What kind of uncle are you? You offer us safety, while the son of the messenger of God has none." Their loyalty is absolute.
Another relative tries something similar.
Yes. Abdallah b Abi Muhil, whose mother was also related, sends a similar offer of safety through a messenger named Kuzman. They give him the same answer. "Tell your master the guarantee of God is better than the guarantee of an immoral person." Unwavering loyalty.
So the situation is desperate. No water, surrounded, ultimatum delivered. We reach the eve of the battle, the 9th of Muharram.
Yes, the day before Ashura. After the afternoon prayer, Umar b Said orders his army to advance towards Hussein's small camp. The final confrontation seems imminent.
What's happening in Hussein's camp?
Hussein is leaning on his sword, dozing. He has another vision. He sees the Prophet Muhammad, who tells him, "You are marching towards us."
A confirmation of his martyrdom.
That's how he interprets it. His sister, Zainab, hears the noise of the approaching army and cries out in alarm and grief. Hussein wakes, comforts her, tells her not to lose patience. Even now, his composure is remarkable.
Does Hussein try to delay the confrontation?
He sends his brother Abbas out to ask Umar b Saad why the army is advancing. Umar repeats the ultimatum. Submit to Ibn Ziyad's authority or fight.
And Hussein makes one last request.
Yes. He asks Abbas to go back and request a postponement. Just until the next morning. Just one night.
Why? What does he want the night for?
He says, so that we might pray to our Lord tonight, supplicate to him, and seek his forgiveness. He knows that I love to pray to him, to recite his book, and to supplicate much and seek his forgiveness. He wants one final night of devotion.
Does Umar b Saad grant the request?
He hesitates, consults his commanders. Shimr argues against it, wants to attack immediately, but others advise accepting. Umar eventually agrees to the one-night reprieve.
So Hussein gets his final night. What does he do?
He gathers all his remaining companions, his family. He gives this incredibly moving speech. He praises them, calls them the most superior and righteous followers and family he has ever known. Better than any.
And then he tells them the end is near.
Yes. He says, I believe tomorrow will be our last day. And then he does something extraordinary. He tells them, the enemy seeks only me. If they kill me, they won't bother with you. He absolves them completely of their oath of allegiance.
Frees them to leave.
Explicitly. I grant you permission to leave. All of you. Go freely. Take advantage of the darkness of the night. Let each man take the hand of a member of my family and scatter. You are free. It's an ultimate act of selflessness.
What is the reaction? This is perhaps the most famous part of the night before Ashura.
It's incredibly powerful. His family members, led by Abbas, stand up first. They refuse point blank. Why would we do that? To remain alive after you. May God never allow us to see that day.
What about the sons of Muslim Biakul? Hussein addresses them specifically.
Yes, he tells them, the death of your brother Muslim is enough of a loss for you. I permit you to leave.
But they refuse too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What would people say? That we abandon our master, our chief, our cousin, the best of uncles? No, by God. We will sacrifice our lives, our property, our families for you. We will fight alongside you until we share your fate. Life is worthless after you.
And the other companions? Not family members.
Their responses are just as fierce, just as loyal. Muslim B. Asaja says, should we abandon you? What excuse would we give to God? By God, I will fight them with my spear and sword until I die.
Sayyid B. Abdallah Hanafi.
He says, by God, we will not abandon you. Even if I knew I would be killed, then resurrected, then burned, then my ashes scattered, and this done 70 times over, I would still not leave you until I met my death defending you.
70 times.
Zuhair B. Quain says something similar. By God, I wish I could be killed, then resurrected, then killed again 1,000 times over if it meant protecting you and your family from death. It's just astonishing loyalty. They've all chosen their fate alongside him.
So, knowing the battle is coming in the morning, what preparations do they make?
Practical ones. Hussein instructs them to tie the tent ropes together, bring the tents very close so they form a single defensive line.
And a ditch.
Yes, behind the tents they dig a trench or utilize an existing one and fill it with reeds and firewood. The plan is to set it ablaze when the battle starts.
Why?
To protect their rear. It means the enemy can only attack them from one direction, from the front. A smart defensive tactic for a vastly outnumbered force.
And how do they spend the rest of that final night?
In prayer. The source says Hussein and his companions spent the entire night praying, reciting Quran, seeking forgiveness, supplicating. A constant hum of devotion is described coming from their camp.
There's one final exchange with the enemy that night.
Yes, a Kufan horseman, Abu Harb Sabi'i, rides near the camp and calls out, mocking Hussein, saying he's leading his followers to death and hellfire.
Who responds?
Burair bi Hudayr, known as a master Quran reciter among Hussein's companions. He challenges the horsemen, defends Hussein, asserts their righteousness and the enemy's sinfulness. Even on the brink of annihilation, their faith and conviction remain unshaken.
Then comes the morning, 10th of Muharram, 61 AH Eshara.
The day begins. Umar bi Saad leads his army in the morning prayer, then arrays them for battle. Arabi Hajjaj on the right wing, Shimr on the left, Azar bi Kays leading the cavalry, Shabath bi Ribi the infantry. A huge force against Hussein's handful.
Who strikes the first blow?
Umar bi Saad himself. He steps forward, takes an arrow, shoots it towards Hussein's camp, and shouts, "Bear witness before the governor Ibn Ziyad that I was the first to strike." He wants official proof he started the fight as ordered.
And Hussein's reaction?
He raises his hands in prayer, supplicates, "O God, you are my trust in every tribulation and my hope in every distress." He turns to God as the battle commences.
Shimr makes another move early on.
Yes. The source says Shimr rides up close to Hussein's tents again, this time threatening to burn them down with the women and children inside. Utterly brutal.
How does Hussein respond?
He curses him directly. "O son of a Gothardus, may God scorch you in hellfire."
Do others object to Shimr's threat?
Yes, even some on his own side. Humayd bi Muslim, who acts as a narrator for much of this, and Shabath bi Ravi rebuke Shimr, saying it's shameful to threaten women. Suhair bi Quain and some companions then charge Shimr and drive him back from the tents.
Before the fighting really gets going, Hussein addresses the Kufan army one last time.
Yes, he mounts his horse, rides towards them, and makes a final, powerful appeal. He asks them to be fair, to listen before rushing to fight him. He asks them to consider his lineage. Isn't he the grandson of their prophet, the son of Ali and Fatima, nephew of Hamza, the Lion of God, and Jafar, who flew in paradise?
Reminding them of his connection to the prophet?
Directly. He asks, "Isn't it forbidden for you to shed my blood, to violate my sanctity?" He reminds them of the prophet's famous saying about himself and his brother Hassan. These two are the lords of the youths of paradise. He says, "If you don't believe me, go ask prominent companions who are still alive. Ask Jabir bi Abdullah al-Ansari, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Salbi Saad, Zaid bi Arqam."
He's appealing to their religious conscience, their memory.
Absolutely, trying to break through their fear or greed. But Shimr mocks him again, saying something like, "I must be worshiping God on shaky ground if I understand what you're saying."
Habib bi Muzahir challenges Shimr.
Yes, the elderly Habib retorts, "I swear by God, I see you worship God on 70 shaky grounds.
Yeah.
I bear witness you don't understand him because God has sealed your heart."
Hussein then calls out specific people.
Yes, he calls up by name some of the Kufan leaders who had written him letters, inviting him. People like Shabath bi Ribi, Hajar bi Abjar. "Did you not write to me?"
And they deny it.
Shamefully, they deny it, or make excuses. Hussein says, "Even if you deny it now, if you are displeased with my coming, I will leave you and go back." One last offer to withdraw.
But Kays bi Ashath, another Kufan leader, tells him to surrender instead.
Yes, suggests he submit to the authority of his cousins, meaning the Umayyads. And Hussein gives that final defiant reply, "No, by God, I will neither give you my hand in submission like one humiliated, nor will I flee like a slave." Submission or flight are impossible for him.
Zuhair bi Quain also gives a speech.
He does. Addresses the Kufans, warns them again about spilling the Prophet's family's blood, reminds them of their duty as Muslims, urges them to abandon Yazid and Ibn Ziyad, the tyrants. He predicts they'll suffer for this.
Shimr tries to shut him up.
Shoots an arrow at him, calls him an animal. Zuhair shoots back a fiery insult about Shimr being an animal himself. The rhetoric is heated, the position's entrenched.
And it's at this point, just as the battle is about to truly begin, that Hur makes his move.
Yes, the commander who stopped Hussein. He's been watching all this, listening. He goes to Umar bi Saad and asks him point blank, Are you really going to fight this man?
What does Umar say?
He confirms it. Yes, by God, a battle, the least part of which will be heads falling and hands flying. He blames Ibn Ziyad's refusal of compromise.
And that confirms it for her.
That's his moment of decision. He slowly starts moving his horse away from Umar bin Saad's main force, edging towards Hussein's camp. His men ask him what's wrong. He's visibly trembling.
Why is he trembling?
He says, by God, I am choosing between paradise and hellfire. And by God, I will choose nothing other than paradise, even if I am cut to pieces and burned. He has made his choice.
Reads over to Hussein.
Yes. Presents himself to Hussein, his head bowed. He confesses his sin, blocking Hussein's path, forcing him to stop at Karbala. He asks, is there repentance for me? He offers his life. Says he came to die fighting for Hussein.
How does Hussein receive him?
With mercy. He accepts his repentance. Tells him, yes, God accepts your repentance. You are her, meaning free, as your mother named you. You are free, God willing, in this life and in the hereafter. Dismount.
But her wants to fight.
He asks to fight on horseback for a while first. Then he rides back towards the Kufan army, his former comrades.
And denounces them?
Absolutely. Admonishes them fiercely. O people of Kufa, you invited this righteous servant. And when he came, you turned him over to his enemies. You claimed you had sacrificed your lives for him. Now you draw your swords against him. You've trapped him, blocked him from God's wide earth, denied him and his family water from the Euphrates, which Jews, Christians, and pigs drink freely. How wickedly you have treated the prophet's offspring.
What's their reaction?
They just shoot arrows at him. He rides back to stand with Hussein, shielding him. A complete transformation.
So the battle finally begins in earnest. How does it unfold? Individual duels first.
Yes. After Umar bin Saad's first arrow, some single combats take place. A man named Yasar, a mullah of Ziyad, Ibn Ziyad's father, and Salim, a mullah of Ibn Ziyad himself, step out challenging for duels.
Who meets them from Hussein's side?
Abdulabi Umar Kalbi. He takes them both on and kills them. His wife, Wahab, is watching and is so moved, she grabs a tent pole and tries to join the fight herself.
Really? A woman joining the battle?
Hussein stops her, tells her women are not required to fight in Islam, sends her back to the tents with the other women, but it shows the spirit of defiance even among the women.
Then the first major assault?
Yes, Ammar bin Hajjaj, commanding the Kufan right wing, leads a charge against Hussein's right flank.
How do Hussein's men counter? They're vastly outnumbered.
They use discipline tactics. They kneel, forming a wall with their shields and spears pointing outward, deterring the cavalry charge. They shoot arrows accurately as the enemy approaches. They hold the line.
We hear about specific incidents even within this chaos, like Abdal bi Haza.
He rides up, curses Hussein. Hussein prays, "Oh God, drag him to the fire." Immediately, the man's horse bolts towards the campfire, burning in the ditch behind Hussein's camp. He gets thrown off, his foot caught in the stirrup, and he's dragged and burned to death. Seen as an immediate answer to Hussein's prayer.
What about Burr bi Hudair, the Quran reciter?
He engages in a duel with Yazid bi Maqtal. They agree to Mubahala, calling God's curse down upon whichever of them is lying or unjust. Burr kills him in the duel. But soon after, Burr is attacked by two other men and killed himself.
And Amr bi Khuraza?
Fights bravely, defending Hussein until he's killed. His brother, Ani bi Khuraza, is fighting on the other side, with Umar bin Saad. When he sees his brother killed, he blames Hussein and attacks him.
Attacks Hussein himself?
Yes, but Nafi bi Hilal, another of Hussein's companions, intercepts him and wounds him. It shows how this conflict tore families apart.
Hur is fighting fiercely too.
Yes, the repentant Hur fights like a lion, killing several opponents, including a man named Yazid bi Sufyan. Nafi bi Hilal is also prominent, reciting poetry about being on the religion of Ali, killing his opponent Muzahim bi Hareth.
The Kufans change tactics.
Yes, Amr bin Hajjaj shouts to his men, "Don't fight these guys one-on-one, they're desperate for death. Attack them all together with stones and arrows." Umar bin Saad agrees. They realize they can't win duels against such motivated fighters. They need to use overwhelming numbers.
Muslim bi Asajah falls around this time.
Yes, one of the earliest and most respected companions. He's severely wounded. Hussein and Habib bi Muzahir reach him just as he's dying. Habib tells him, "If I knew I wasn't going to follow you shortly, I'd ask you for your last will."
And Muslim's last words.
He gestures towards Hussein and whispers to Habib, "My will is this man. Die defending him." Then he passes away. Hussein laments his death deeply.
Abdallah bi Umayyah, the first duelist, is also killed.
Yes, killed by two men, Hani bi Thubayt and Bukhari bi Hay. He's noted as the second martyr from Hussein's camp after the battle began in earnest.
How are Hussein's horsemen doing? There weren't many of them.
The source says there were 32 horsemen. and they fight with incredible effect initially. Their coordinated charges cause chaos in the larger Kufan army, forcing them back several times.
So Ibn Sa'd brings in archers.
Yes, he realizes he needs to neutralize the cavalry threat. He brings forward 500 archers under Hasim bi Tamim. They shower Hussein's horsemen with arrows, injuring many horses, forcing most of Hussein's men to dismount and fight on foot.
And then the order to attack the tents.
Yes, Ibn Sa'd orders his men to try and pull down Hussein's tents, burn them, break their defensive formation.
Does Hussein let them?
He tells his men, let them burn the tents. If they burn them, they cannot cross through them to attack us from behind. He turns their destructive tactic into an advantage, reinforcing the defense from the rear, ensuring they can only be attacked from the front.
Shimr tries to burn Hussein's personal tent.
Yes, the one with the women and children. He comes forward with a torch. But again, Humayd bi Muslim and Shabath bi Ribi object strongly. Zuhair bi Quain and about 10 companions fiercely charge Shimr and drive him off. They will defend the family at all costs.
The battle rages on. It reaches midday prayer time.
Yes, Abu Thumama Sa'idi, another companion, points out to Hussein that it's time for Zuhr prayer. Even amidst the slaughter, they want to fulfill their religious duty.
Hussein asks for a pause in the fighting.
He asks the Kufans to stop fighting briefly so they can pray. Hasim bi Tamim, the commander of the archers, mocks them. Your prayers won't be accepted.
Habibi Muzahir defends them.
Passionately, you think the prayers of the Prophet's family won't be accepted, but yours will be, you donkey. He then charges Hasim.
How does the prayer happen?
Hussein leads a shortened version of the prayer of fear, Salat al-Khawf, appropriate for battle conditions. Some companions pray with him, while others stand guard, fending off attacks.
And more companions fall during or shortly after the prayer.
Tragically, yes. Habibi Muzahir, after his exchange with Hassin, fights fiercely, kills another man, but is then struck on the head by Hassin and finally killed and beheaded by another soldier. His death is a huge blow. He was a revered elder.
Hur bi Yazid, the free man.
He continues fighting valiantly alongside Zuhair bi Quain. They protect and rescue each other multiple times. Eventually, Hur is surrounded and killed by Kufan foot soldiers. Hussein comes to him as he's dying, wipes the dust from his face, calls him free once more.
Sa'id bi Abdallah Hanafi, who vowed to die 70 times.
He fulfills his vow in spirit. During the prayer of fear, he stands directly in front of Hussein, shielding him with his own body. He's struck by numerous arrows. After the prayer, he falls at Hussein's feet, asks if he fulfilled his duty, and dies.
Zuhair bi Quain.
He recites poetry praising Hussein, fights bravely, and is eventually killed by 2 attackers, Kathir bi Abdallah and Muhajir bi Aus.
Nafi bi Hilal, the one who defended Amr bi Karaza's brother.
He was a skilled archer, killed 12 Kufans with his arrows before running out. He then fought with his sword until both his arms were broken. He was captured.
Who kills him?
Shimr orders him killed. As he's about to be executed, Nafi defiantly says, "Praise be to God who has destined that we die at the hands of the most wicked of his creatures." Shimr kills him.
The source lists many others. 2 Gifar brothers.
Yes, Abdallah and Abd al-Rahman fought side by side until killed. 2 young cousins from the Jabir tribe, Saif and Malik, wept seeing Hussein's plight, but fought bravely until they fell together.
Hanzala bi Asad.
He delivers a final warning to the Kusans, quoting the Quran. Hussein praises him, "May God have mercy on you." He fights until he's killed.
Abis bi Abi Shabib Shakiri, the Lion of Lions.
His friend Shadhab is killed first. Abis then strips off his armor, takes only his sword, and charges into the enemy ranks like a madman. The source says he was so fearsome nobody dared face him one-on-one.
How do they kill him?
They surround him and rain down stones on him until he falls, then they finish him off. A truly heroic end.
Abu Shatha, the archer.
Yazid bi Ziyad, known as Abu Shatha. He defected to Hussein. He was an expert marksman, shot almost 100 arrows, rarely missing before finally being killed.
And others rescued by Abbas.
4 companions, Jabir bi Harith, Mujami bi Abdallah, Amr bi Khalid, and Saad, a mullah, were surrounded. Abbas charged in and rescued them, but they were likely wounded and killed later in the battle.
Suaid bi Kathami.
One of the very last companions left standing. He was wounded and fell unconscious among the dead. Later, when he heard someone shout that Hussein had been killed, he woke up, found he lost his sword, but grabbed a knife he had and fought with that until he too was killed. The absolute last of the non-family companions to die fighting.
So all the companions are gone. Only Hussein and his immediate family remain.
Yes, the Banu Hashim, his sons, brothers, nephews, cousins.
Who is the first of the family to go out?
Ali bi al-Hussein, known as Ali al-Akbar, Ali the Elder, to distinguish him from the younger son who survived. Hussein sends him out, remarking how much he resembles the Prophet Muhammad in looks and manner.
He fights bravely.
Incredibly bravely. He cuts through the enemy ranks, drives them back. He returns to his father briefly, parched with thirst, asks for water. Hussein, heartbroken, says there is no water, tells him to fight on, promising he'll soon drink from the Prophet's own hand in paradise.
How is Ali al-Akbar killed?
He charges back into the fight. A man named Murad B. Munqit strikes him on the head. As he reels, other soldiers swarm him, stabbing and cutting him.
His last words.
He calls out, "Father, upon you be peace. This is my grandfather, the messenger of God, giving you greetings and saying, 'Hurry, come to us.'" And he dies. Hussein rushes to him, lays his cheek against his son's, lamenting his death. Zainab, his sister, comes running out of the tent in grief. Hussein carries his son's body back to the camp.
The grief must have been unbearable. Who goes next?
Qasim B. Hassan, Hussein's nephew, the son of his brother Imam Hassan, a very young man described as beautiful, his face shining like a splinter of the moon.
How does he die?
He fights bravely, but is struck on the head by Amr B. Sa'd B. Nufail. As he falls, he cries out, "Oh, uncle!"
Hussein responds.
Instantly. The source says Hussein leaps forward like a hawk or like a furious lion. He strikes Qasim's attacker, Amr, with his sword, severing his arm at the elbow. Amr screams, his own comrades rush towards him, and in the confusion their horses trample Amr to death.
What about Qasim?
Hussein reaches his nephew just as he's dying, breathing his last breaths. Hussein laments, "It is hard on your uncle that you call him and he cannot answer you," or answers, but it does not help. He picks up the boy's body and carries him back, laying him beside his own son Ali al-Akbar and the other fallen family members.
Now Abbas, Hussein's brother, and his other brothers.
Yes. Abbas first tells his three maternal brothers, Abdallah, Jafar, and Uthman, "Go forward, my brothers, so I may inherit from you, as you have no sons." He wants to see them die martyrs before him.
And they do.
They fight fiercely, one after another, and are all killed.
And Abbas himself. The source material here is interesting. Abu Mikhnaf doesn't give details.
That's right. Our primary source, Abu Mikhnaf's account, as transmitted, doesn't detail Abbas's final moments. But the text we're using includes a supplementary account, likely from Sheikh Mufid or similar later reliable sources.
What does that account say? It's one of the most famous parts of the story.
It describes Abbas trying to reach the Euphrates. The children in the camp are crying desperately from thirst. Abbas makes a valiant attempt to break through the cordon guarding the river, perhaps carrying a water skin.
That he stopped.
He's blocked, surrounded. He fights heroically, but his arms are cut off. He's shot with arrows, one possibly hitting the water skin, another his eye or throat. Covered in wounds, he eventually falls from his horse and is killed near the riverbank, unable to bring water back. His bravery and sacrifice for the family's thirst make him a central figure of devotion.
Then the infant son, Abdallah al-Radi.
Yes, the suckling infant. There are slightly different accounts, but the most common is that Hussein is holding the baby, perhaps appealing to the enemy's mercy for the child, or perhaps just trying to comfort him.
And the baby is killed.
An arrow, shot by Hurmila B. Kahil according to most accounts, strikes the infant, killing him instantly in his father's arms.
Hussein's reaction.
He catches the baby's blood in his hand, throws it towards the sky, and prays, "O Lord, if you have withheld help from heaven from us, then grant us what is better. Take revenge for us from these oppressors." Another version mentions him digging a small grave with his sword and burying the infant right there. It's just an act of unimaginable cruelty by the attackers.
Others from the family fall too. The children of Abdallah B. Jafar, Aqil, Hassan.
Yes, the source lists them. An and Muhammad, sons of Abdallah B. Jafar, Hussein's cousins, Zainab's sons. Several sons and grandsons of Aqil, Hussein's uncle, including Abdul Rahman Jafar, Abdallah B. Muslim, Muhammad B. Abi Sa'id. And from the family of Hassan, Hussein's brother, Abu Bakr B. Hassan and Abdallah B. Hassan. They all fight and are martyred. The entire generation of young men from the Prophet's immediate grandsons' families is wiped out.
Finally, only Hussein himself is left standing.
Maybe with one or two gravely wounded companions or family members nearby, but essentially alone, facing the entire army.
He prepares for his own end.
Yes, the text mentions him asking for trousers, perhaps Yemeni ones, which he tears and puts on under his clothes. When asked why, he says it's so that after his death, the enemy won't be tempted to strip him completely naked. Even in his final moments, thinking of dignity.
Do the attackers hesitate to kill him?
There seems to be a moment of hesitation. Nobody wants to be the one who deals the final blow to the Prophet's grandson. There's a reluctance, a fear of the consequences, divine or otherwise.
Who strikes him first?
Walid bin Nusair strikes him on the head with the sword, cutting through his hooded cloak, burnous. The cloak becomes soaked in blood. Hussein curses him, takes off the ruined cloak, asks for a cap and turban, and puts those on.
Then Shamir moves again.
Shamir, with a group of about 10-foot soldiers, moves towards Hussein's tent, where the women and children, including Hussein's sick son, Ali Zain al-Abidin, are sheltering.
Towards the family?
Yes, maybe intending to loot, or worse. Hussein sees this and tries to get between them and the tent, but he's blocked by soldiers. He calls out to them, "Woe to you, O followers of the family of Abu Sufyan! If you have no religion and do not fear the hereafter, then at least be free men in your worldly affairs. Restrain your fools and ignorant ones from aiding my family and womenfolk while I am alive."
Appealing to their sense of worldly honor, if not religion.
Exactly. Shamir replies contemptuously, "You'll get your wish, son of Fatima."
Hussein fights back, even now.
Amazingly, yes. Wounded, exhausted, grief-stricken, he launches attacks on them, scattering them left and right. The source emphasizes his incredible strength and courage, even at this stage. Observers are astonished. He fights like a cornered lion.
Umar Bisad comes closer.
Yes, and Zainab, Hussein's sister, cries out to him from the tent, "O Umar Bisad, will Abu Abdullah Hussein be killed while you stand watching?" It's reported Umar turned away, tears running down his beard, unable to watch but unwilling or unable to stop it.
Hussein confronts the cavalry again.
Yes, curses them for their betrayal, predicts God's wrath upon them, warns they won't rejoice for long after killing him.
And then another child gets involved.
The final, heartbreaking tragedy. A young boy, Abdallah b Hassan b Ali, Hussein's nephew, Qasim's younger brother, sees Hussein surrounded and runs out of the tent towards him, despite the women trying to hold him back.
What happens to the boy?
He reaches Hussein just as a soldier, Barbie Cobb, is about to strike Hussein with his sword. The boy shouts, "Oh, son of a wicked woman, will you strike my uncle?" and puts his arm up to protect Hussein. The sword blow severs the boy's arm, leaving it dangling. He cries out, "Oh, mother!"
Hussein reacts.
He pulls the wounded boy to his chest, comforts him, tells him to be patient, that he will soon meet his righteous forefathers, the Prophet, Ali, Hamza, Jafar, Hassan. He then raises his hands and prays against the attackers. "O God, hold back the rain from them, withhold the blessings of the earth, afflict them with division, never be pleased with their rulers. They invited us promising support, then turned on us and killed us."
The final blows. Who strikes them?
Multiple attackers descend on him now. Zuram b Sharik Tamimi strikes his left hand and shoulder. Hussein, weakened, falls to the ground, face down.
And the beheading.
Sinan b Anas al-Nakai delivers a final spear thrust, then dismounts. He sits on Hussein's chest and, with several blows of his sword, severs the head from the body. He hands the head to Kawali b Yazid Asbahi.
And after the death.
The horrific plundering begins. They strip his body. Ishaq b Hayway takes his shirt. Alaknos b Martha takes his turban. Aswad b Khalid takes his sandals. Qais b Aswad takes his velvet outer garment. His sword is taken. Even his trousers are looted. His body is left naked, trampled on the sands of Karbala.
A brutal end.
The source concludes this section with that powerful verse from the Quran. "And those who do wrong shall soon come to know what detrimental reversals and major upsets they will be overturned by." A final word on divine justice.
We've just walked through an incredibly intense, detailed account, following Abu Mikhnaf's reconstruction of the tragedy of Ashura. Loyalty, betrayal, principle, sacrifice. It's all there, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's far more than just a historical timeline. It's this deeply human story. Principle versus power. The devastating cost when oaths are broken, when fear and greed take over. But also that unwavering conviction, that steadfastness against impossible odds. That's why this story continues to resonate, I think.
It really makes you think about courage, about justice, what someone is willing to endure for truth.
Definitely. And as we wrap up, maybe something to reflect on. We've focused on this account preserved over centuries, but also one that, as we noted, faced issues of forgery and transmission.
Right.
So what does that tell you about the sheer power of these historical narratives, how they shape identity, belief?
Yeah.
Why are certain stories so potent that people dedicate themselves to preserving them, but also sometimes to distorting them? And maybe what's our responsibility, yours, mine, everyone listening, in understanding not just the history, but the history of the history, how these stories reach us and why they matter so much.